We all heard this so many times recently. Blender is a top-notch tool for artists. It's cool, it's modern, it's free, it can do so many things easy and you need to learn it, so please buy my awesome training courses. Are all those things valid? Well, probably yes, but is it a whole picture that you should know? From my 25 years CG history distance, not really. You see, so many YouTube channels used to manipulate and divide society. AMD versus Intel, Android versus iOS, PC and consoles. In addition, they are buzzing about what can attract people to bring views and likes and trend things. So did Blender become a trend? Oh yes. It's hard to get views on videos about Maya animation or 3dsMax modeling. And there is so much hype about cool polygon extrude in Blender or never seen before array tool that lets you copy something procedurally and other things kinda like that. People who have been doing the same things in other apps for more than 2 decades already sometimes just can't hold their emotions. So let's break it down and make it clear for new arriving artists or for those who are in the industry for a while and having rising fears and doubts. My name is Alex Andriel and you on my channel. I will appreciate a lot any feedback for this video, and now let's begin with our topic. First of all, a tool set. Even though sometimes fancy looking tabs and buttons might feel like a true future of CG app, in fact, most of them are doing just the same things as other apps can do and was doing this long that this is more than some artists' age. And speaking of additional tools like plugins or scripts, dozens of them are available for all applications. Indeed, in the last few years, Blender has received some really valuable additions. For example, V-Ray finally arrived to this platform. Even though this is just an expanding market share for Chaos Group, which is totally fine because they're running their own businesses, it's still a fascinating update for Blender. But for Max and Maya, V-Ray was available for almost 30 years. And other most common plugins are just the same. Scattering, vegetation generators, particles, fluids, voxels, vehicle animations, UV unwrappers. And with the time, some of them even become a standard application tool, so you don't have to download and install anything except the main application. Some plugins are still separated, but had become an industry standard, for example TypeFlow or SpeedTree. And so, we can say that none of the application lack of tools. Second, is it a way to get a job offer at some famous studio? Here's the crucial thing that you should keep in mind. Skill is the most important. In all cases, you should consider this as a red flag if you ever hear that someone got a job just because he works in Blender or other specific application, but without his skill evaluation. If you have some struggles about modeling, object composition, sense of art in general, or you don't know about colors, confused about lights, or afraid of dynamics, that will be the same in any application you learn. And in opposite, if you are, let's say, a great modeler with outstanding feel of forms, shapes, strong understanding how to build a mesh grid, it doesn't matter what application you are using, you will be able to transfer your knowledge in any type of UI environment within days, maybe weeks if we are speaking about speed and confidence. And even more, now we have lots of options to transfer our products between apps. We have not just FBX and OBJ formats, but we have Alembic, we have recently a new one, USD format, and some top studios are fine for that in their pipelines. And don't be fooled by those who say that everything is changing. No, this is wrong in any types of art. What defines a good animator or editor or lighting artist from a bad one? The good one learn the human nature, the law of physics, the way how our brain and eyes works, and with this at base, by using some technical tools, creates an art, a final product that gives us either money or attention. Third, accessibility, and this is a good point indeed. Meanwhile, 3dsMax used to call an expensive tool and Blender is a free one. Autodesk has implemented a subscriptional system for a long time already, and 1 month of 3dsMax costs around $250, roughly 10% of a common journalist salary. And you shall spend your own money for that only in some cases of home office and mostly on freelance. At the same time, what gives you a free software when you're a freelancer? It feels like an obvious more money in your wallet because you don't have to buy software. And in some cases it's true, but sometimes in real world it might teach you some unwanted flexibility in your rates instead. And massive competition in the market won't make the things better either. Okay, and how about educational materials? When you see a paid course for Blender about how to build a car wheel, just keep in mind, when Blender finally turned into something useful, approximately after 2010, which means 15 years ago, the internet was already flooded with endless amount of industry standard app tutorials and courses, which by this time are free for use already. It is true that Blender community is way louder these days, and all media resources are keep talking and posting about this fancy app. But it is false feeling that there is no more useful content for Max or Maya. It is still there, but many topics and things already has been said many times before. Let's summarize. Is Blender a good tool today? Absolutely yes. Is Autodesk Max or Maya an outdated narrow branch niche tool? Definitely not. But internet media will push that statement very hard because they cannot sell you content for Max and Maya anymore. And what they're hiding from you is the truth, that instead of learning tabs, buttons and sliders, it is so much more important to be an artist, to develop an art skills, and not to be just a tool user or fancy classes student. All that was said here is my personal view from 2 decades of being present in the industry and multiplied by experiences and stories that I heard from people that I met. If you have something to add or retort me, I would enjoy discussion in the comments below this video. Thanks for watching, and remember, don't follow the trends, develop your skills. See you around. Bye.